Welcome into Cougar Sports 1039 98.3 ESPN The Fan. I'm Ben Criddle broadcasting from our Vanderwelt studios, vanderwelt.com. Get on that free Q&A. No obligation to invest Q&A with our tax smart wealth advisors. Certified financial planners. Nobody does it better than Blaine Anderson and his crew. Big Cougar roar to him. He's an NFLPA certified financial planner. He wants to aid you, wants to support you in your quest for financial stability and sustainability. You got a great show for you, as always, here on your Utah ESPN Radio Network. Shout out to all you Cougar fans in Cougar Country tuning in and chiming in today. Make sure you keep us locked in. We're going to keep it loaded, full of information. 103.9 FM dial, 98.3 FM dial. You can also get us on the Legacy dial, 960 AM if you like the AM dial. You can stream us, though, ESPNthefan.com, ESPN The Fan, the app, as well as the TuneIn app. Also, check out our newest website, our latest, our greatest website, CougarSportsMedia.com. That's CougarSportsMedia.com for all the content that your mind, body, and soul needs for your Cougar sports aficionado ways, okay? CougarSportsMedia.com. Check that out as well, and subscribe to our newsletter. Subscribe to our daily newsletter that keeps you up to date on all the news and notes coming out of Brigham. Also, you can tell your smart speaker, hey, smart speaker, listen to Cougar Sports with Ben Criddle. Hey, smart speaker, listen to the ESPN The Fan, the app, and then download the podcast, iTunes, Spreaker, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Give us a rating. Give us a review. We appreciate it when you do. We got a star-studded cast. We have so much to get to. Let's fire it up. The ESPN The Fan starting lineup, and I can introduce you to my co-host and the rest of the star-studded cast joining us for this Hump Day edition, Wednesday, August 26th edition of Cougar Sports. Behind the glass in Salt Lake City, the architect of the show, the point guard, leading us to glory and victory, keeping us on task, making sure I get all of my sponsorship reads, etc. in. Let's welcome in Ronald, the three-man weaver. What's up, Ronnie?
What's up? I didn't do this yesterday, right? Because I thought that someone on the team would, but I'm going to take liberties now, especially because another tragedy happened today. First of all, RIP to Dolly Ben. That's crazy.
Dolly Parton.
Yeah, Dolly Parton, one of the best, country music out there who paved the way for, not just herself, but a lot of women. And then Tim Curry, Ben, Home Alone 2. I remember him specifically, growing up. So he also has passed away as well. So just want to give a shout out both of them. Live great lives, win at the age of 80. So if I go at the age of 80, Ben, and I can accomplish just a little bit of what they did, my life will be fulfilled.
Oh, my. Tim Curry passed away.
Yeah, Tim Curry passed away. He did, yeah.
Man, he was so iconic in that film. Fantastic actor. I think he play Mr. Hector, I believe, is he was there at the hotel, the hotel there in New York City. And, man, yeah, you hate to see these, you're getting old, right, when these iconic figures of your childhood are passing on. And it's sobering. It makes you grateful. You got to be in the present and really enjoy it because it is a present after all. And have fun, make some memories. Surround yourself with friends and family members that you can just have awesome experiences with. And that's what we do here at Cougar Sports. That's why we do what we do here at Cougar Sports, because we love what we do and love interacting with all you Cougar fans in Cougar Country. So rest in love, rest in peace to Tim Curry as well as Dolly Parton. Are we going with that as the band of the day? I think we have to, right?
Yes.
A little Dolly Parton. Let's get country with it, with Dolly Parton. Rest in love, rest in peace. Iconic figure in the country music world, and I'd say just pop culture world as well. Guys, we have a fantastic show for you. Let's also welcome into the show Brett. Always bring the hammer. Hammer Time Show. What's up, bro?
Yeah, I have a bone to pick with everyone on this show because somehow when Dolly Parton died yesterday, we did Kanye for Band of the Day instead of Jolene, and the news had already been out. I thought it was a protest against country music on the show yesterday.
Wait, did you? But you didn't tell us. I didn't
know. I was working on some other stuff, so I just assumed everybody was going to take care of it and do Dolly Parton. Dude, shout out to Dolly Parton. First of all, incredible woman. Second of all, I can't believe that I thought she was never going to die, honestly. Like, I didn't even know she was 80 years old.
You thought she was immortal?
I didn't realize she was 80. I thought she was like 60, 65. This woman performed the halftime of Thanksgiving Detroit Lions game. Was it last year or the year before? So, yeah, that lady was timeless, man. So, shout out to Dolly Parton. It's Happy Trails has been a good one.
And not that she was just a great human, too. She impacted so many people with her music, but with her personality and then with her philanthropies as well. So she was very engaged in the community. So a great example to us all as Hammer Time and Ronald rise to greatness. Remember, always give back. Always give back. Guys, we have a tremendous show for you. We also have Vic Cram. He's not on the mic right now. Shout out to Vic. We got Caleb Lyons, Zion's Lion in the back, as well as Connor Mitchell, making sure that we're staying on track with our stream. For those that are tuning in on the stream, we love and appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in, as well as on the radio stream and radio dials. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We got some great content for you. Big 12's ruling on not allowing professional athletes back in college. So if you've played in the NBA, you've played in Major League Baseball, you've played in the NFL, you can't come back. They're taking a stand. They're saying no. We'll read into that and see if this impacts poll of the day. Will Jackson Kohler be eligible? I know there are some that believe he will be eligible. Others are in wait-and-see mode in that gray, as Robbie McCombs put it, murky area. Did he sign a deal is the question. And will he be beholden to some of these policies that are being implemented to reduce the backtracking of coming back, returning to collegiate athletics. We'll get into that in the nitty-gritty. We'll also read between the lines today. Kalani Sitake addressed the media. A lot of good cuts, a lot of good gems to obtain here. Bodie Schoonover, also one of the most underrated players, I think, is Bodie Schoonover on this BYU defense. He really doesn't get a whole lot of love, I think, from Cougar Nation. But he was one of the leading sack getters last year for this BYU Cougar football team. And he's going to start off right where he left off last year, in my opinion. So get to know Bodie Schoonover in the 3:30 segment. At 4:05, we got Belo, former BYU great defensive back, to discuss BYU football. The pass breakup king joining us at 4:05. Vic Cram caught up with JoJo Phillips. How was that interview, Vic? I'm sure it was fantastic. If you want to hop on the mic real quick, you can. But JoJo Phillips, 4:30. Ronald the Three-Man Weaver caught up with Trey Alexander. That's at 5:05. And then Darnell Dixon, the Daily Heraldian himself, at 5:30. But give me a little breakdown of the JoJo Phillips interview. Everyone's wondering wide receiver one. Hammer Time brought it up. I think other media members in the scrum throughout fall camp have discussed who's wide receiver one, who's going to be the starting wide receiving core. And it could very well be JoJo. But what did you learn about JoJo?
Just first of all, very impressive young man.
Sure.
And second of all, I asked him about his preparation for this year.
Yeah.
Because obviously everything's right in front of him. And we talked about what he did to prepare. And he worked his tail off this offseason in the summer. And so we have a lot of good stuff that JoJo's going to be talking about today.
I'll tell you what, I'd seen this guy roam around, with the shirt off, and I'm like, that dude looks like an NFL wide receiver. Yeah. He looks the part, I can tell you that much. And he runs a fantastic route, great body control, fluid in his movements, and great catching radius. We just need him to start making more contested catches, I think is what you're looking for this year, and to stay healthy as well. I think he would have played a much bigger role had he been healthy last year. Remember the Stanford game and all the targets that he got in that game and the stats, that he was able to accrue that game. But he got injured, man. Yeah. He got injured. He had the clavicle fracture, had to get it plated. Finally got rehabbed, got healed up, and he was able to finish off the season somewhat healthy, somewhat confident to end the season. And he got some looks and some touches in those final games.
And we talked about catching. He wants to catch all the
contested shots.
Well, just the ones he's supposed to catch, right?
Okay. Yeah, he did have some drop balls, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
And so he wants to focus on making sure that he concentrates, on every ball.
Yeah.
And make sure he gets the ones that are thrown to him that, hit his hands and then of course the contested ones. Because, with those guys being so tall, all of them, it's just the sky's the limit for sure. We should have a ton of goal line fade passes this year, right?
Yeah, you have plenty of 50-50 high point players there between the tight ends and the wide receivers, no doubt about it. Plenty of opportunities to toss it up to a high-flying, high-scoring baller, shot caller, wide receiver, or tight end. Guys, that's our show. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be marvelous. Thanks for tuning in today. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Brought to you by our good friends at Complete Circuit Electric, CompleteCircuitElectricUtah.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You scared me right there. I ain't gonna lie.
What's that?
I was like, I don't know why I thought ending the show. Wait.
Oh, yeah. We out.
Cheers. I'm reaching out to a TCU person from the Star about getting banned, Ben.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
All right, Ben, here we go. Mike's hot.
The Nitty Gritty brought to you by Complete Circuit Electric, CompleteCircuitElectricUtah.com. My guy, Rustin Taylor's a big BYU fan. He's a master electrician of over 23 years. He'll take care of you. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Doing the right work at the right price. Many of you maybe hire the cheap, economically, minded handymen, and they're great. They're fantastic. But when you're dealing with electrical, I would advise you against that because you're dealing with your most valuable assets, your family, your residents, and your business. You don't want to create a fire. You don't want to create any sort of liability with improper wiring and improper voltage, improper panel work. You just don't want to mess around with that. I've seen it too many times where it'll bite you in the behind. Don't do it. Call Complete Circuit Electric, CompleteCircuitElectricUtah.com. Rustin Taylor, huge BYU fan. He would love to earn your business. You'll get the VIP products, VIP service, VIP discounts that all of our listeners get from any one of our sponsors. 801-400-0885. That's 801-400-0885, CompleteCircuitElectricUtah.com. So y'all know, if you don't know, now you know, the Big 12 is set to pass a rule that doesn't allow players to return from the NFL or any other professional sport and play for a Big 12 school. That was Ross Dellinger that reported this, I believe, yesterday. So Big 12 ADs met earlier Tuesday, and in a unanimous support of a ban on professional players returning to compete in the conference. And the Big 12 has joined the SEC and Notre Dame in taking this stance. The Big 10 unveiled a ban on NFL players returning to compete in the conference, but has not yet addressed sports other than football. That is of note. I don't know if they did that today, if anybody can confirm on that. But Big 10, SEC, and Notre Dame have all gone public with their stance against professional athletes returning to college sports. The Big 10, SEC both adopted rules against it. Now the Big 12 followed shortly thereafter. The league is expected to finalize the policy within the next 24 to 36 hours. So once again, you play in the NBA, you out, which begs the question. Jackson Kohler. We didn't have a football player return. We didn't have Waylon Lapuahu. We didn't have John Tumway-Peu. Both of those guys, I think John actually had a minicamp invite, and so he technically played in the NFL. But BYU didn't bring back anybody on the football team that had left for the professional ranks. Their eligibility had been exhausted, although Waylon is in the portal. We have that announced from last week. Waylon Lapuahu, former BYU offensive lineman, is in the portal. We'll see who picks him up. I'm sure if he's healthy, he will play college. He'll probably play college football this year because I don't think Waylon got into a camp. So technically, he's eligible to play. But right now, I think we're mostly concerned about Jackson Kohler. Jackson Kohler, what's his status? Jackson Kohler is supposed to be a pivotal piece of this BYU basketball team. He's your starting five-man. And when we were talking with KY and Will Voigt and the coaching staff months ago about the quest for a BYU big man, KY was very confident at the pulpit in front of the mic. Hey, we know which guys we want. We know who we want. And quite honestly, the Jackson Kohler acquisition is in line with like how they've operated with bigs. They went international, and then they got the Latter-day Saint hometown player, homegrown player that went out to Sparty for 4 years. They brought in Jake Wallin. They brought in Colin Chandler. They brought in the BYU basketball, or the Mormon Mafia basketball players of college basketball right now, right? Like that's who's out there. Like I don't know how many other there's plenty of high level LDS players out there. Downhall's at Utah State, by the way. We wish him well up in Cache Valley, Cache Money. The other Tuggers of the North have a very good team. But Jackson Kohler's eligibility in question. Now, Robin McCombs did chime in on this. And so I'll read you his tweet. Robin McCombs, Vanquish the Foe, hops on the show. We love Robbie and everything that he does. And he's always knee-deep, neck-deep in BYU basketball content. For basketball, okay, this announcement targets R.J. Lewis for the SEC. Cut and dry, he is ineligible to play at LSU. If the Big 12, this was about 20 hours ago, and before the Big 12 dropped the same policy, if the Big 12 adopts the same policy, the impact on Jackson Kohler is more murky. He didn't declare for the NBA draft since he was automatically eligible, so there was no mechanism to withdraw. I'm told he never actually signed his Exhibit 10 contract with the Jazz either, just like others that agreed in principle to play in Summer League but never signed. So this could be eligibility due to technicality, even though, he was there, he was playing, right? Like this is going to be a eligibility through technicality, and you can fight it, you can threaten it, you can threaten litigation versus the Big 12. I wonder how the Big 12 will view it, because once again, it does improve the conference. Brendan Sorsby would have improved Texas Tech in the conference, but there was so much hatred, so much enmity between Texas Tech and the rest of the collegiate landscape that they ultimately had to fold. They ultimately had to fold their hand. So I guess my question to you is, Hammer Time, if I polled you right now, are you saying yay or nay on the eligibility of Jackson Kohler? Eligibility through technicality.
It's such an interesting issue because you have to ask, what are their qualifications? If a guy at the time ran out of eligibility, so therefore he's eligible to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
He never said, I am playing, and he never, as far as Robbie McCombs is reporting, he allegedly did not sign the Exhibit 10, so therefore doesn't have any real evidence that he ever got his fingers dirty or ever touched anything to do with the NBA. So to me, then it becomes a question of, you're just going to take the intent behind, he thought he ran out of eligibility, so therefore he's in the NBA. That seems murky to me as well. The other point that you kind of alluded to is, what's the lawsuit situation here?
Yeah, what's the legal ramifications for this? Because remember, going back real quick, keep your thought in mind here. 5-for-5 rule. That's the catalyst. That's the launch point for all of this issue of players returning, because they're like, wow, I can make more money playing college athletics than I could. Jackson Kohler is going to make more money here at BYU than he would in the EuroLeague.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, he's coming back, or in the G League for that matter. NCAA 5-for-5 rule gives college athletes 5 calendar years to play 5 full seasons of competition, fundamentally changing how long an athlete can stay in school, right? Before it was like a red shirt and 4 years, etc. It was adopted in June 2026. And since that ruling, you've had this influx of players saying, I'm coming back. I'm not leaving. Going Wolf of Wall Street on everybody. I ain't leaving. I'm staying, baby. I'm staying. Cash money, baby. Filthy lucre in my pocket. I'm going to ball out till the wheels fall off, till the eligibility is exhausted. So anyways, keep going.
Did you see the Texas Tech quarterback that they just picked up, Tommy Castellanos?
Yeah,
the note is, I guess there's a report. He's said he's willing to play running back or wide receiver, which tells me that a guy of that level who's willing to come back and go to Texas Tech, that does support this implication that guys are just making money. I'm going to take 6 figures to play another year of college before I have to go out and get a real job, because I'm probably not going to play in the NFL. It's go for it. I got it. I believe in it.
Are you kidding me? I would have cut off my pinky toe to come back and play another year. In 2008, that was a good team. That was the quest for perfection. I think I could have helped out that team in the secondary, quite honestly. It would have been great. It would have been grand. It would have been wonderful. I would have done it. I would have loved that. Give me that 5th year, baby.
So now the legal ramifications are interesting, because for everyone who says, well, we're suing for everything else, why don't we sue for this? The difference is you're suing the NCAA as opposed to suing the Big 12 and the SEC. And I think my personal take is the courts see this and say, you guys exploited athletes for decades and made a ton of money and never had to give it back. So the karma now is anytime anyone brings a lawsuit, unless it's definitively somebody was harmed, we're just going to throw an injunction and say, you know what, we don't have time to deal with it right now, so we're taking your power away until after the point of which it doesn't even matter at that point.
Yep.
I don't know that you're going to have guys suing the Big 12 and the SEC getting along the same way, I guess, unless maybe you find Brendan Sorsby's judge down there in Lubbock. I don't know. But I don't think you're just going to be able to sue your way out of this. I don't think, based on what we know right now, that Jackson Kohler should be held back because, again, we're talking about guys at LSU who literally went to minicamp, who literally went to OTAs. Like you had an ID badge to get yourself into the building. There is documentation of you being associated with them. Whereas for Jackson Kohler, if it really is true that he never signed his Exhibit 10, then what are you going to point to say he was a member of the NBA? You could say at the time he thought that was his only option, but you don't have anything on his fingertips that make him red-handed to say he was officially affiliated with the National Basketball Association.
Yeah, well, so he did play for the Utah Jazz in that 2026 NBA Summer League, right, before committing to BYU. He played in both portions of Utah's summer schedule. Salt Lake City Summer League, 2 games, 6.5 points per game, 8 rebounds. I love that rebounds. Are you kidding me? Ooh, bring the Provo. Look, Jackson, you're eligible in my mind.
Yeah.
Let's go. 2 assists too. Whew. Give me that, man. Give me that distribution. 3 YU, baby. 3 YU. You're going to be distributing that basketball too from the low post, baby. 20 and a half minutes per game. His best game was 11.7 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block versus Memphis. In the Las Vegas NBA Summer League, 2 games, 5.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, and 11.7 minutes per game, shooting 50% from the field. So combined 4 appearances, roughly 6 points, 5.2 rebounds per game. Kohler played, and I thought, you played pretty well in the Summer League, solid. But is he eligible? He played in the NBA by rule, technically, even though he didn't sign, he played and had a Utah Jazz.
So how does that work then?
And but the question, if you received, you received money? Are you an independent contractor? Are you a W-2? And even though you didn't sign a contract, you were still getting paid?
Is it just a big tryout? What is the actual exchange of services? Did you take anything? What actually, that's what I want to know, is what officially goes into, because we're hearing from Robbie that he didn't sign the Exhibit 10. However, he did play in the Summer League.
He played in the Summer League.
And my guess is you can't just walk up off the street and say, hey, I'd like to play. I imagine there's some documentation you got to go through and sign. So even if he didn't sign Exhibit 10, he probably signed something that then gets him involved with the National Basketball
What's
Association.
interesting is, you have a report of Utah Jazz transactions. This is at SalarySwish.com. And, per Salary Swish, he did sign Exhibit 10. So now you're, like I said, there's some sort of technicality.
Exactly.
I don't know if this is a valid website, but they're saying he did sign and the
reports
10.
Prior to Robbie were that he had signed the Exhibit 10. Mm-hmm. Robbie's the only person I've seen who says that he didn't. However, I do trust Robbie, and Robbie would know that other people are saying he did sign it. Robbie wouldn't be taking this to print if he didn't have it on good authority.
Well, I think they're going to fight it. There's no doubt they're going to fight for their right for Jackson Kohler to party. Maybe we should do Beastie Boys instead as band of that. I'm kidding.
Also, Kevin Young is an NBA guy. So my guess is he also has some pretty deep insights into what qualifies and what doesn't.
Yeah.
He didn't know this was going to come down the pipe, though.
It's one of the reasons why you do need, in all corporate landscapes, including BYU, you need internal counsel, especially you need specialty internal counsel. And I know Kurt McConkie is one of the is the law firm that I think BYU, Ward Manuel, I think too. I think is it Manuel? I'm trying to remember. Wayne Latu works for him. For my former teammate. I'm trying to think of that law firm. Anyways, there's a couple of Quinn Emanuel is not Ward Manuel. Ward Manuel's the former
quarterback.
Ward Manuel was over the CFP or something, right? Wasn't he also?
I thought I might be thinking of a different.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, they do have some internal counsel, and you wonder if they're leaning into their expertise in this to fight for Jackson Kohler's right to party at Brigham, baby. Obviously, it's something that is needed. I am so much more optimistic with Jackson Kohler on this roster than I was without him.
Agreed.
I'm pretty jazzed. I'm pretty juiced about it. He does take it over the top for me. I'm like, dude, I'm not saying I expect the Sweet 16, but I'm like, this is a Sweet 16 team. I think it. I feel it. The only issue I have with it is that they just haven't played a whole lot of reps together and played a whole lot of minutes together.
But in this world of college basketball, who has?
Yeah. But you have a ton of tenure there. Like, experienced dudes that can come together and mesh and meld. And you have good culture players, too, that are going to be bought into the BYU way. You're not going to have any subterfuging, poison in the culture with, like, bad players. Meaning bad players is, like, not, like, in talent, but, like, just selfish. Like, me. Like a Groundhog Day. Me. It's all about me, right? As Bill Murray said, you don't want anyone sitting there is like saying, I am a deity. Not the deity, but I am a deity of basketball. You don't want them saying that. So I'm like 50-50 right now. I'm kind of leaning towards, like, I'm optimistic that this can hopefully go BYU's way. But if I've learned anything over the years, just when you think everything's going right for Brigham on the basketball court and all is well and you're going to go to a Final Four, you have 3 ACL injuries. Knock on wood. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, just be healthy. Jackson, get eligible. I hope you didn't sign that Exhibit 10, even though there are some reports out there saying that you did.
It's so weird that there are some people emphatically saying he didn't and some people emphatically saying he did.
Yeah.
That is odd to me.
So, like, what's the league? Like, he got paid to play in the Summer League. But Summer League compensation is generally, I think, limited to maybe the reasonable expenses, per diems, covering things such as meals, maybe lodging, transportation, and certain permitted contract-related compensation. Like, in order to get paid, doesn't there have to be some sort of contract?
Right. It might not be Exhibit 10, but you sign like something.
Like, I mean, yeah, at my place of business, we don't necessarily sign a contract, but we do give an offering of employment. So you do an offering of employment, they agree to the salary. That's essentially, it's not a contract, but it's like it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I agree to what you're going to pay me.
Right.
Like, it's a W-2, sometimes W-9, depending on the work remitted, right? The work transacted and executed. But I'm just sitting there looking at, like, okay, like, he did get paid and he's probably a W-2, and IRS is going to see, hey, yeah, you did receive a check from the Utah Jazz. But does that make sense? Like,
my issue with this is the issue that I've had the whole time is now how do you qualify between a college athlete and a professional athlete? Because even like schools, they may not be W-2 employees, but with rev share, you are literally having the school pay the players. So then my question has always been, what's wrong with a guy going to the NBA and coming back? Because it used to be, oh, well, this is all amateurism. So the second you get paid to play, you're no longer an amateur, you're a professional.
Yeah.
Everyone's a professional now. So, like, why is this? I don't know what the logic is as to why this is wrong. So I certainly don't see the logic of a guy who played in Summer League. What's wrong about that? He played for less money in the Summer League than he's going to play for at any other college.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. I was like sitting there thinking, like, workarounds here. Like, did he have, like, Kohler Industries LLC sign the contract? I didn't personally sign it. It's my LLC. You know what I mean? Like, it was my LLC. That took the money. And then it's distributed, yes, eventually to me. It's taxable wages at the end of the year if I net a profit, sure. But I'm just sitting there thinking about, like, workarounds. I'm like, I know the report is he didn't sign. They're going to fight. They're going to fight tooth and nail. They're going to figure it out. And I hope it does. I hope it works out. It's murky right now. It's gray. Robbie seems optimistic. I'll lean into the optimism a little bit, but don't be surprised if Jackson Kohler is not eligible this season. Just when you think things couldn't get any worse, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself. Anyway, let's go to break. Hammer Time show. Vic Cram by my side, Ronald the Three-Man. Ronnie, did you want to chime in real quick before we go to break?
Yeah, this is not to be negative, Nancy, but this is to be realistic, man. If this ends
negative,
when it's not negative, it's just realistic. I've said this before. I said at the end of last week, don't be surprised if something like this happened. He couldn't play, even though I want him to play and to see him out there. And I think he is right, and I'm on their side. But if he can't, according to the law of the letter, You knew what you were doing, Kevin Young and BYU, when you rolled the dice and gambled. Don't act brand new. I don't like people to try to be funny. Oh, well, no, you knew. So if you can't play, I hope Kevin Young's response is like, it is what it is. We'll keep pushing, because that's what it should be. You knew you were taking a chance because this was a set in stone thing. Did the NCAA mess this up? Is this their fault? Yes, but unfortunately, it is what it is, though.
Yes. Yes, indeed. By the way, Ward Manuel was a part of the CFP, the 13-member CFP selection committee in 2024. He shunned the Cougars, stiff-armed the Cougars, didn't want anything to do with the Cougars, but I think he had to pay his penance because recently he had some issues at Michigan. A lot of drama there. Yeah. Anyway, you got to pay the piper. There's always, to every action, there's an opposite reaction. You got to pay the piper for institutional lack of control, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Yeah, I was thinking of EJ Manuel. That's what I was thinking.
I was like,
yeah, that's the Bills quarterback, not Ward Manuel.
I was like, Ward Manuel. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong manual. Anyway, let's go to break, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. More to get to. Question of the day coming up next. But that poll of the day was brought to you by our good friends, and our nitty-gritty was brought to you by Complete Circuit Electric, CompleteCircuitElectricUtah.com. If you are looking for that honest, hardworking, cost-transparent electrician who's also a big BYU fan, contact my guy, Rustin Taylor, today. He'll earn your business. Go to Complete Circuit Electric, CompleteCircuitElectricUtah.com. Shoot him a text. Give him a call, 801-400-0885. That's 801-400-0885, CompleteCircuitElectricUtah.com. We'll be back, Cougar Nation. Don't go anywhere. Plenty to get to on a beautiful Wednesday edition. Cougar Sports, 103.9, 98.3, ESPN The Fan.
Ben Mike's hot.
Welcome back, Cougar Sports 103.9, 98.3, ESPN The Fan. I'm Ben Criddle, broadcasting from our Vanderwelt studios, vanderwelt.com. As you always hear me say, get on that free Q&A, no obligation to invest Q&A with our Tax Smart Wealth advisors. Dolly Parton bringing us back from the break. Rest in love, rest in peace, to one of the most iconic country singers in our generation. Dolly Parton has passed on, so we're celebrating her today. Band of the day brought to you by RoyalArmy.com, BYU swag. Created by fans, for fans. Stay loyal to the Royal. Rep the Y the right way. Purchase all your BYU licensed apparel at RoyalArmy.com. The best fine twine linens that money can buy. Royal Army always putting out the best BYU licensed apparel in the business. You can utilize the ESPN coupon code. Get 10% off your order. That's 10% off your order. 10% off your order at RoyalArmy.com. We will be utilizing the Ultimate Tailgater as well as the Royal Army every pregame. We got 7 games. It looks like we're going to be at the grassy knoll, the grass field next to the Chevron, just south of the Chevron, and just west of where the Helaman fields are, Cougar kickoff, etc. We'll be there distributing the fine twine linens of Brigham that are conversational pieces for friends and family members that love to stay loyal to the Royal. So we'll be there. The Ultimate Tailgater will be there. I think we may be doing a post-game live stream too. Just saying, I may be going live post-game and breaking down these games in detail. Now, we can't put out like video of the highlights, okay? But I can walk through. I may say is like, hey, go to second quarter, 5:32 left in the quarter. We're driving. We're at the 40-yard line. Let's get to that play right now. Let's break this down, and I'll tell you what I see. They come out in 11 personnel. Looks like Bears and gun, single back set. And I'm going to break down what happened, why it happened, and discuss it. And then we'll integrate some of these. Anyways, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be glorious. And we appreciate all you Cougar fans supporting us throughout our shows on the radio and now on the stream. So thanks for joining us today. Brett always bringing the Hammer Time Show. We got Vic Cram by my side, Ronald the Three-Man Weaver in Salt Lake City, Caleb Lyons, as well as we got Connor Mitchell and Kevin Mitchell. Shout out to them for being here. And we are going to get into an interesting thing that's happening at TCU right now. Now, we were talking about this off the air, Hammer Time, and we were discussing the games that we have circled that are like, this could be a loss. Like, this is going to be a tough game. Before all of the hullabaloo came out of the DFW and Ammon G. Carter Stadium at TCU with the offseason, the drama, I had that one circled. I said, dude, TCU's a good team. They're talented. They've been talented. They get to tap in to so much talent in that DFW area. Remember, there's a lot of bounce back players that go to like the SEC, and then they'll come back for their final year or two, and they'll play at TCU. We've seen that with Houston. We've seen that with TCU over the last few years. So there's plenty of talent. Yes, they lost Hoover, and that hurts, but they have plenty of talent there. And you're playing at TCU. I was like, that one's going to be tough. I think everyone was like, well, look at what happened last year versus TCU. We destroyed them. Like, we were not that much better. That was like a cascade of momentum that turned in BYU's favor. They were slipping all over the place. They did not have the proper cleatage. Like, if you see them go back and watch. It was almost like when BYU played Iowa State, BYU was slipping.
Freezing cold.
TCU was slipping all over the football field. And so that home field advantage was glorious. It was great. It was marvelous. It was fantastic. So I do think on their home field they'll be better. Now, with everything that's going on, the drama of the offseason, I'm like, that's a dub for the Cougs. Hammer Time, give us the latest, the greatest on what's happening with TCU and why you're maybe optimistic about an easy dub in Ammon G. Carter Stadium this season.
Yeah, this story has kind of flown under the radar, and I think part of the reason is I don't know if the average fan cares about this as much as media members do. This is one that definitely hits home for media members. Essentially, what happened was there was an alleged dispute between two players in the locker room, I want to say a week to 2 weeks ago. Police ended up having to be called. It was a whole situation. The player who inflicted the pain has been released from the team.
Yep.
Then
assault, essentially,
yes,
a fight, etc.
The player who was beat up put out an Instagram video and essentially said, this is what happened. That video was taken down because there was a lot of negativity from TCU fans saying, really the logic being, because you got beat up, this guy got kicked off the team, and now we're not good, so this is your fault. That doesn't make any sense to me, but that was the argument from fans. Then the Dallas Star Telegram, they put out an article essentially outlining everything that had happened. And to this point, the player who had been beat up, his name was not public. It was not in any report or anything. The only reason people knew who it was is because he had put out, or there had been a video put out of him describing what happened. That video had been deleted. Yeah. So TCU assumes this name is not public. The Telegram Star puts out an article, says this is who it was. Again, they're not breaking that news. Yeah. That news had been put out when the video was put out. Yep. Well, now the gentleman who covers TCU, I can't remember his name.
Steven Johnson.
Steven Johnson. They're
the only guy that covers him full time.
Right. Covers TCU full time for the Star Telegram. TCU has since revoked his credential to cover the team full time. And so now it's, I don't want to say a bad look. That's what it is in my personal opinion. Do with the information what you will. But a guy who covers the team, who didn't break any news that was unfair, didn't do anything that was journalistically unethical, has now had his credential removed by TCU. They have not yet put out a public statement as to why they feel what happened, why they revoked the credential. My guess is they don't like that the name was revealed, even though that wasn't on the newspaper.
Yeah, it wasn't on the initial report. It was revealed by the player.
Correct.
Yeah.
So shout out to Johnson. I just checked his Twitter. He's getting on a plane, headed out to Ireland. So he is not letting this hold him down. And I think what every Big 12 team should do is say, hey man, they may not credential you, but we're going to credential you for every game where we're playing against TCU.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Which my guess is they will, because typically away teams are really good about credentialing guys. But that's what's happened up till now. So there's already a little bit of chaos going on from the assault. Now there's more chaos going on because of the revoking of the credential. And there's going to be even more chaos because, believe what you will, but if you play in this college football classic in Ireland, go look at the teams who played in it the last 3 years. Your season gets completely derailed.
Not good, Bob.
So all of the chaos involved makes you feel like if you're playing TCU this season, they got a lot of chaos on their plate. That may not be as difficult a game come time of the season as you may have felt 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Well, not only that, so they lost their star quarterback to Indiana. That one hurt, right? Shot through the heart, as G-Man likes to say. And the other element in all this, when you revoke a media credential like this from a reputable newspaper, you're going to have the entire media world against you. You're a private institution. You can do actually what you want. Just like BYU could revoke a credential and be okay legally and lawfully. We have freedom of the press. We have freedom of speech. And you should have fair use and fair access as a press member to cover politicians, people, events, current events, sports. That's what it's all about. And even if it's entertainment. So them revoking it, they have it within the right because they are a private institution, TCU. But it doesn't look good on the surface because I don't think they did necessarily anything wrong. They just reported on the sequence of events. Now, Mike Buddy, the athletic director, states that there was incorrect information. And so this is a reprimand, essentially. They are withholding this credential until there is amends made. But, yeah, it stems from that August 26th incident. Two intertwined issues of the alleged assault involving it was an assault. TCU safety Jacob Fields and TCU's subsequent decision to pull the Fort Worth Star Telegram's credentials. So Jacob Fields is no longer on the team, as you mentioned, and Dozie Ezukanma is still on the team, and he was the one that was assaulted, and then went to Instagram and had posted about it, and then had it removed after that. It was an aggravated assault involving hands, feet, fists. So there's some violence. There may have been a roundhouse kick to the face. We don't know.
TCU says there's inaccurate information, but they've yet to come out and say what was inaccurate. Because, again, their issue is they feel like the Star Telegram reported the name. The problem was that name, even though it was a video that was deleted, was already put out not by the Star originally. That's what they're upset about.
Yeah, so TCU AD Mike Buddy says an unnamed source without firsthand knowledge supplied inaccurate information that appeared in the newspaper's initial reporting, and that the resulting narrative contributed to threats against Ezukanma and his family. So that's what they're stating. TCU says the credentials being withheld pending further conversations with the newspaper. So we'll see how this all plays out. But I think there's been times where, let's talk about BYU. I think you have the two-edged sword of public relations. You want people talking about you, but you don't want them speaking poorly about you. And the idea that any news is good news, right? It does not play at BYU. And I wonder if there's been times where, BYU has evaluated, hey, are we going to revoke a credential? And what type of repercussion, what kind of backlash would occur if, say, let's say, what's the what's a media entity that is going to maybe muckrake and report on things that could be controversial? Okay, if you did that, you know what I mean? If you did,
I think we all know.
Yeah, right. So you know that as the independent journalist, right, the traditional J journalist that's going to report on the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, and sometimes maybe it's more slanted to the negative, and being the true watchdog of BYU athletics and the church-sponsored institution, you're like, okay, we're going to revoke. Did they report accurately? I'm sure there could have been justification if things weren't reported accurately. Sure. It's like, oh, we're revoking it. But that would have provided, as we've discussed, by doing so, you're showing this emotional toddler, like, controlling the narrative. Like, no, you can't. I'm taking my ball, and I'm going home. You can't access the ball anymore. It's my ball. It's my team. It's my institution.
Here's the thing, though. Whatever information you want to say is inaccurate. Your issue isn't that he reported it, and revoking his credential. Guess what? Yeah. Revoking the credential does not stop his source from talking to him. He didn't need the credential to talk to the source.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not really upset about. You're not stopping that problem, which is what you're really upset about.
Yeah, exactly. Ronald, do you want to chime in on this? What do you got for me, Ronald, the three-man weaver?
Look, I'll take the liberties and say this, and Ben, I'm not willing to run from the truth. I just asked this question. If this had come from ESPN and not the Telegram, what would the response have been? That's all I have to say on that.
Well, right? Yeah, they ain't gonna.
They can't revoke ESPN.
But that's what I'm saying. And again, but that sets a bad precedent for all PR, BYU in particular, BYU specifically because it's a BYU show, and everybody else around the conference, Colorado, Arizona State. If you're censoring the truth coming out and you don't like that someone is saying this, and then to Brett's point, if there was inaccurate information, you've not given a statement, and I know that people have probably asked for that because that's the first thing that I would, okay, well, can you give a statement regarding the inaccurate information, and you don't reply, then it makes you look like you're upset that they reported this, and it's making you look bad. And this,
Ron, it would be like if I called you a liar, but I won't tell you what the lie was.
100%.
Well, you're a liar. Okay, cool. What wasn't true? Well, I don't want to talk about it, but you lied. Okay. If I definitively lied, then go on record and prove it and make me look bad. Because the second that TCU says, hey, the Star Telegram reported this, that wasn't true, the police report says this is what happened, then the Star is the one who looks bad. Yes. But when you just want to play the PR rule of say, well, we're the school, you want to cover us, so we're going to take your ball away, no one sits there and says, oh, you know what, the Telegram must have done something wrong. What they say is, okay, if he lied or he reported inaccurate information, then what was it? Well, we're not going to talk about it. Okay, then no one's going to sit here and side with you.
All I'm going to say is this, Ben, to finish it up, to give it back to you, is everybody on Twitter around the world, not just TCU, but I'm seeing even in our local market, is standing behind, Stephen Johnson and the Star. I do as well, as someone that covers journalism. Stephen does a great job. We've had him on the show plenty of times. He's a great friend of the program. He does a good job. We've met him, Ben. This is a bad look on TCU athletics, and I hope this is an example, not just for TCU athletics, but other athletic departments. This is not a good look with that. If you have an issue, my thing is always this: if you didn't like something, have a conversation with them behind closed doors, work it out. But to revoke someone's credential, which you have every right to do, even though you're in the wrong and you're not saying what Brett just said, then I'm looking at you. Okay, you just want to control the narrative.
Well, I'll say this much: Sonny Dykes. This is coming from Sonny. I guarantee you. I don't know if this is an SID move or even an AD move. I think this very well could be a Sonny Dykes move. And sometimes that's where it starts from. That's where it ends. It begins and ends in that. What do you got for me?
Yeah, so Sam Bloom, who covers Major League Baseball for The Athletic, he tweeted today, a Sonny Dykes-led program restricting access to reporters for no justifiable reason whatsoever, ? I dealt with similar stuff with him at SMU. It probably won't go for TCU. So to your point, there is a reporter from The Athletic who is literally confirming what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like I like Sonny Dykes. I think he's a phenomenal coach. I think he's a competitive coach. I think he's petty competitive. I think he's like, you didn't report everything accurately. Pull that freaking credential. I don't want to see that guy around I don't want to see him ever again asking me a question at practice, in a pregame, in a postgame. I don't want him near me. If he's not going to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help him, Heavenly Father, I don't want him around. Take that credential away. Mike's like, all right, well, it's inaccurate. Okay, I got you. Okay, I'm fine. Got you.
Sounds like he's like, all right. And stuff.
Hey, man. Yeah, Mick.
I'd like to give you a kudos for the dumbest question I've ever been asked.
Yeah, Mick's interesting. Yeah, Mick's that is a controversial figure, man. He is abrasive. Anyway, let's go to break, guys. That segment was brought to you by RoyalArmy.com. BYU swag created by fans for fans. Stay loyal to the Royal. Rep the Y the right way. Purchase your BYU license apparel at RoyalArmy.com. I love the fine twine linens of Brigham, and I think you will as well. Royal Army. Be a part of the Royal Army. It's essentially the 12th man's choice for fine twine linens with that stretch Y on it. Or the block Y for that matter. Royal Army, RoyalArmy.com. Let's go to break. Let's get into a Let's Talk About Stats segment coming up next. This is Cougar Sports 103.9, 98.3 ESPN, The Fan.
Let's talk about stats. Ben Criddle and his team of former players and insiders give you the latest stats, data, and analytics that are trending in the world of Cougar sports.
All right, here we go. Ben Mike's hot.
Welcome back, Cougar Sports, 103.9, 98.3, ESPN The Fan. I'm Ben Criddle, broadcasting from our Vanderwelt studios, vanderwelt.com. Get on that free Q&A. No obligation to invest. Q&A with our tax smart wealth advisors. If you got a fuzzy vision of your financial future, why not get on that free Q&A today with Vanderwelt and Blaine Anderson. He's an NFLPA certified financial planner, and he wants to aid you, support you in your quest for financial stability and sustainability. He's been aiding and supporting the BYU student athletes for a long time now. He wants to aid and support Cougar Nation. So check it out, Vanderwelt, vanderwelt.com. We're going to get into some stats here. I got Vic Ram, Brett always bring the hammer, Ronald, the three-man weaver behind the glass in Salt Lake City. Shout out to Connor and Kevin Mitchell, as well as Zion's Lion back there in the prod room. Appreciate you guys tuning in, chiming in, Cougar Nation. Thanks for being a part of our stream. We're going to be doing this throughout the college football and college basketball season, so we appreciate you tuning in, chiming in, wherever you're tuning in and chiming in from. But you can always get us on the 103.9 FM dial, the 98.3 FM dial when you're driving around your vehicle, in the 960 AM dial, as well as on our Cougar Sports Media. We got to start pushing that over to our website URL, cougarsportsmedia.com. You can stream us from there, and then subscribe to the newsletter. Vic is always data aggregating, doing the newsletter every single day. So go to cougarsportsmedia.com and you can scroll down. You'll see subscribe to the newsletter to stay up to date on the latest and greatest, right to your inbox, right to your email for all the news and notes coming out of Brigham. Let's talk about stats. My guy Greg Welch brought this stat up to me. It wasn't too long ago that Kalani was under fire, that there were question marks surrounding whether or not he should be the head coach of BYU. Coming off a 2017 year in which it was like the worst season in BYU football history, right? It was a turning point, right, in 2018. 7 years ago, he states Kalani was 500, a 500 coach, starting 22 and 23. Then BYU played 14th-ranked Boise State at home at night. They converted a 4th and 1. Okay, this was a huge pivotal game, and I think they did their rugby scrum toss. You have to pull this up, this highlight. He was extended in the locker room after that game. Kalani and BYU are now 61 and 22. That's a 73.5% winning percentage since. That's pretty crazy, considering where we're at that time, 7 years ago. So I want to bring that up. I thought it was a great stat of the day, brought to you by Vanderwelt, vanderwelt.com. Another stat I want to bring up in this segment. It's something I think you've covered as well. Thomas Castellanos has transferred, has committed to Texas Tech. Now, who's Thomas Castellanos? He's played for Florida State. He's played for Boston College. Yeah, he's played at UCF. His career, he's got 6,449 career passing yards and 48 passing touchdowns. He's also rushed for 24 touchdowns. This is a nice pickup. The 5-for-5 deal, doing the Texas Tech body good. Texas Tech will not go down without a fight. The Fighting Cody Campbells. What do you got, Ronnie? You okay? Was that just okay? So the Fighting Cody Campbells, they will not go down without a fight. Not with their filthy lucre, black gold money. They will not go down without a fight. Now it is. We may be. Did we? You got me.
We lost power at the station.
Oh, we lost power.
Yeah, I went to break. She said send it to national, so I sent it to national.
Okay, so we don't have any power. Okay, well we're still on the stream.
Still on the stream though, yeah.
We got the stream. This is the beautiful thing.
Sorry,
so
guys,
we still.
Just on the radio, yeah.
So if you're tuning in to the radio on the 103.9, 98.3 FM dial, 960 AM dial, you may not have us, so you have to convert to the app, ESPNthefan.com, ESPN The Fan, the app, or go to cougarsportsmedia.com and stream it there. But, guys, Thomas Castellanos very well could be the starting quarterback for Texas Tech. At what point do you think they could make a move? Right? Will Hammond's over here coming off an ACL. I don't know how healthy he is. They do have some high-profile games early. You may not have to resort to Castellanos, maybe game 2, game 3, but by mid-season he'll be onboarded. That guy's too experienced, too athletic not to field him, not to put him out there. You simplify the offense, and you let them go out and play. You let them go out and play backyard football. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do, especially when you've gone through the entire install of spring and fall camp, and now you're going to really simplify it. It could be good for them, though. It could be good. You just play backyard football, and Castellanos leads you to glory and victory. I don't like it one bit, but this is the way the cookie crumbles in college football this day and age. Your thoughts?
It's like the reverse Bear Bachmeyer, where, like, brand new guy comes to the school, has no background because he wasn't there for any of the offseason, and then ends up becoming the starter.
And everyone's like, well, Will Hammond must be bad. I'm like, bro, like I've told you guys. I talked to John Beck about this, and he kind of he was much more positive than me from a biomechanics standpoint. He ruptured his right knee ACL. He is a right-handed quarterback. Don't make me do the Dex. Look at that torque on that right knee. You got to get that stanky leg going, and you dip in like. You're changing your biomechanics. That's your launch. That's where you're generating your torque and the force out of the ground. And if you have any lack of proprioception and stability, you could put a brace on there 100%, but still you have neuromuscular shutdown that impacts your mechanics. You start to become an arm thrower. You're less accurate at times. You have to bring yourself along gradually. And I believe what game did he how far out is he? 8 months now? How many months out is he from surgery? Like, I'm just telling you, like, I think that's one of the reasons why they're bringing Castellanos in. Yeah, Will when healthy was a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Extremely talented.
I think his completion percentage was like in the 70s.
Yeah, he was good. He actually beat the Utes, He showed up and showed out against the Utes, the mighty Utes of the North.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of those situations, if you're a BYU fan, a little weeping, wailing, gnashing your teeth, because if you do end up facing Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship, which is highly likely if you do what you do, if they do what they're supposed to do, then you're going to face them again, and you're most likely going to face a very tenured and talented and productive quarterback that has won some big-time games, won some very big-time games.
Yeah. Does this put – I think from Texas Tech's side, it's a great move. Because
no doubt, yeah.
If you look at what is left in that quarterback room, like after Will Hammond, it's kind of shot. There's no experience, truthfully but respectfully. So from Texas Tech's standpoint, like, that makes sense to me. From Tommy Castellanos' standpoint, it makes sense to me, make some good money. I just wonder – and maybe the response is that's just part of football. Mm-hmm. But does that make you feel weird from Will Hammond's perspective, where you're like, I'm the guy, I'm coming in, I'm going to lead this team, it's all set up for me to be successful. As soon as I get healthy, like, I am the undisputed number one guy. And then a week before the season starts, we're going to bring in a guy who beat Alabama. Like, this feels like if anyone's seen Friday Night Lights, you watch Friday Night Lights?
Oh, yeah.
This feels like when they brought Voodoo in after Matt Saracen had an incredible season in season one. Like, that's kind of how this feels. And then you get your starter shaken up. Again, like, from the team standpoint, you get as much depth in the QB room as you possibly can. I'm not taking any shots at Texas Tech from that standpoint. But I just wonder if a guy like Will Hammond, who's coming off injury, preparing to be the number one guy coming in, this isn't like a guy who's an intended backup. This is a guy who's beat Alabama. This is a guy who started at Boston College, Florida State. Like, this isn't hey, he's just the backup plan. They may tell you that, but I just wonder from Will Hammond's perspective if it just throws off, like, the chemistry just a little bit to be like, wait, hold on, why are you bringing this guy in so late?
It is late, but obviously much needed for depth. And I would say winning late in the season and midseason for Texas Tech when the going gets rough. Guys, let's talk about stats. And it's always brought to you by Vanderwelt, Vanderwelt.com. Get on that free Q&A, no obligation to invest. Q&A with our Tax Smart Wealth advisors, certified financial planners. Nobody does it better than Blaine Anderson and his crew. That's Vanderwelt, Vanderwelt.com. You got a fuzzy vision of your financial future? Look no further. Head on over to Vanderwelt.com and get on that free Q&A today. Let's take a timeout. We'll be back. I believe we got some sound we're going to get to. Kalani Sitake addressed the media yesterday. Let's read between the lines. Let's listen to these Cougar bites coming up next. This is Cougar Sports, 103.9, 98.3 ESPN The Fan. We have some power outage in Salt Lake City, but we appreciate you tuning in, chiming in wherever you're tuning in, chiming in, guys. Appreciate all you Cougar fans in Cougar Country tuning in, chiming in. We're going to get into a little reading between the lines. Kalani Sitake addressed the media, and I want to get into it with Kalani, your head coach, and see what he's seeing from his perch down at BYU. This segment is going to be brought to you by Called to Sweat, calledtosweat.com. I love Called to Sweat. I think you will as well. If you've been called to serve, you've been called to sweat. Many of us as missionaries, when we went out to serve with all of our might, my mind, and strength, we neglected our physical well-being while we were out on the mission. Now the church enforces, I think, to a certain degree, at least it's in the handbook, you're supposed to work out 30 minutes a day, and they're allocating time for that. You don't have to wake up at 5:30 to work out, right? You're supposed to work out within the missionary schedule. But most missionaries don't know how to work out all that well. Let's be honest. They don't know how to plan out meals. They don't know how to plan out their nutritional elements. You don't know how to plan out your workouts. So Called to Sweat enters in, and it's for LDS missionaries and the people that love them. Your 30 minutes of exercise finally has a plan. 6 fresh 30-minute bodyweight workouts delivered to their missionary inbox every Sunday. So the whole week is planned before Monday morning. No gym, no equipment, no guesswork. Programmed by a certified trainer with more than 25 years of experience and a missionary mom herself. That's Kristen Wise, former BYU athlete. Start the 7-day challenge. You get that for free. If you end up signing up, you can utilize the Criddle15 coupon code to get 15% off your subscription at Called to Sweat, calledtosweat.com. And by the way, parents out there, you also get to work out for free alongside your missionary. So check that out, calledtosweat.com. All right, Ronald, the three-man weaver, let's talk some Kalani Sitake football. We're going to go line item by line item here, soundbite.
Full video.
All right, let's go full, and I'll tell you when we want to slow down and maybe comment on this. Kalani Sitake yesterday at Camp Kalani, last day of Camp Kalani.
What questions you guys got for me? Last practice at camp and move over to getting ready for Utah Tech. So what do you guys have for me right now?
Did summarize camp? Did you accomplish what you wanted to?
Yeah, I thought it was it's probably a little bit more physical than we planned, but it's okay. I think we needed to work, and I think on both sides, offense and defense, we needed to work. And then, I think they got a couple guys banged up, but they'll be ready. That's the price you pay for going live and going physical in camp. And I don't know any other way to get better at football without playing it. So, we were able to avoid catastrophic injuries, but right now, the game of football is a physical game, and it can be violent at times, especially with the way these guys play. And so, just really fortunate that we were able to get through this. But they're not 100% right now, but they should be by the time we get to the game next week.
What stood out about the scrimmage, and did the defense kind of rebound after that?
Yeah, I thought the defense was a good answer. They answered back. That's kind of how it's been throughout all camp. I think at the beginning, defense was ahead of the offense, and then just happened that scrimmage, the offense did better in the first scrimmage. And then, they kind of went back and forth until the next scrimmage. And, I thought defense had a good answer, but it wasn't like it was all one side. Both sides done great. And in the middle of all that, special teams is breaking in the kicker and the punter and snapper. And I feel really good about the third phase, too, with the kicking game. So all 3 phases are doing well now. We'll still take advantage of the week and a half that we have left to get ready for the season, and specifically game 1.
All right, so let's discuss this. Number one, injuries. Thank goodness there's no season-ending injuries, right? Like, you don't want that. You don't want to hear about that. The malleability, the pliability, the nutrition, the strength and conditioning, and the medical staff have done a tremendous job. And I'd even say the football staff doing a tremendous job of probably doing some load management, you could say. But they've gone hard, man. They've been pretty violent, man. They've been pretty aggressive. And because you keep on hearing Kalani talk about, I want to form some calluses. And by that, you have to learn to play within the rigors of a game of attrition, a violent game at the point of attack. And that's what you got to do. You got to get ready for your Notre Dame game, right? You got to get ready for your Big 12 season that starts pretty early on with U of A coming to town. You better get ready and get rolling. You want to win at the line of scrimmage, you got to get calloused. And but thank goodness, there are nicks, stings, and bruises, but no season-ending injuries, which is, we were kind of evaluating, hey, are guys being held out? who's being held out. Why are they being held out? Is this a long-term? Is this a short-term injury? There are some key players that I do think have been banged up through this process. Hopefully they can make their way back. Hopefully they can find their way back early on in the season, to be determined how that plays out. But BYU's strength and conditioning staff, their human performance staff, their medical staff, their nutritional staff, they've done a phenomenal job.
We're going back live on the radio.
Phenomenal job.
Let's
All right.
break.
All right. Well, we going back to all right, we're going back live on the radio, guys.
I have to go to break first.
Because we're on the stream right now, guys. We had power outages up in Salt Lake, so we'll get back with the Kalani sound coming up next. Please don't go anywhere. That segment was brought to you by Call the Sweat, callthesweat.com. If you are a missionary or you're about to be a missionary, you have a missionary within the walls of your home, check out callthesweat.com. These programs, this program will aid you and just support you throughout your mission to stay strong, stay healthy, and I think it's directly correlated to your mental health as well, obviously, as your physical health. If your physical health is intact, then I think your mental health is on point as well, typically. I think they follow in line with each other. So check out Called the Sweat, especially for your missionaries. You need to be confident. You need to be swaggy. You need to be strong and feel like you're in shape and feel confident out there. And Cult to Sweat can help you do that. Let's go to break. Don't go anywhere. More to get to. This is Cougar Sports 103.9, 98.3, ESPN The Fan. At Cougar Sports 103.9, 98.3, ESPN The Fan. I'm Ben Criddle, broadcasting from our Vanderwealth studios, vanderwealth.com. You got a fuzzy financial vision of your future? Why not get on a free Q&A today with our NFLPA certified financial planner, Blaine Anderson? It is time to continue to read between the lines. Kalani Sitake sound. And this segment is going to be brought to you by Dental Pros of Utah, dentalprosofutah.com. If you've been told you need a filling, a crown, a root canal, all I'm asking you to do is get a second opinion at Dental Pros of Utah. They utilize the best biomimetic techniques. These are minimally invasive techniques to rebuild your teeth layer by layer so you don't have to settle for fake teeth later on in life. Choose Dental Pros. If you don't believe me, check out their Google reviews today. All right. Kalani Sitake yesterday. Let's get back to the sound bites from media availability and read between the lines.
When you talk about injuries, is anyone out for the year?
No. No, not for the year. Yeah, but there's some guys that'll be kind of close to the to game one, but most of the guys will be ready.
How much were you able to get Falatel Satuwala involved?
Oh, yeah, he's going. Yeah, we have to hold him back because he's running full speed. He's doing all that, but within the 2 week time, we want to be able to make sure that we get him to he's got to work himself into it. I think he wants to just go because he's been here the whole time and been training. But football-wise, we know what he can do. We just need to make sure that we get it so that it's right when we get to this first game, and he'll be ready to go, though.
You were asked about it. Go ahead. I was going to say, do you feel like your depth chart is filled out in camp, or do you still need positions to show they can do?
No, I think what's happened is we have way more guys that can start. I mean, we're a deep team, so we have a lot of talent, a lot of different places, and so it's just that this basically confirmed that we do have a lot of talent. And now us coaches can't mess it up. We just need to get the guys out there and find different ways to get certain players on the field, and that's going to be a challenge. But I'd rather do it that way with a bunch of guys that can play than hope that someone can get it done at a position. So right now I feel good about all our position groups, and I even feel good about where we're at in the kicking game too.
Come on back.
The picture that you were asked about resources.
Okay, so a couple of things there. Falatel Satuwala, he's full go. I had caught up with him at the Cougar kickoff, and he said, hey, I got cleared yesterday. So then he had the acclimation period, essentially Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So he was in full pads. I believe it would have been Saturday, but he probably was not in full contact mode just yet. But we saw him repping with the ones and I think the twos at practice. And so it's great to see Falatel Satuwala out there in acclimation mode. 2 weeks, that would put him, I think, very tentatively for this Utah Tech game. For now, I think he could play. I don't know if he'll start. I don't think he'll start. But if he's looking good, feeling good, vibing good with the defense on the back end. I saw Demo the day that I interviewed DeMario Warren. Like, I had to wait like an additional 30 minutes to interview DeMario because he spent 30 minutes after practice with Falatel Satuwala. That's what he was doing. He was literally going through drops with him, going through some technique, going through assignment, alignment. That's what he was doing for 30 minutes after practice, just with Fale. So I do think they want him, need him, and have to have him for U of A. That is a priority for this BYU defense. So that's one of the things that stood out to me from some of that sound, and it is good to hear that, there's no major injuries, no season-ending injuries, but I'm sure there's a few nicks, stings, and bruises. We'll see how it plays out for Utah Tech and who will be available. Ronnie, let's get back to the sound. Kalani Sitake had media availability earlier this week.
Versus noted that your agent would handle that. Has that been resolved going into the season based on what you said with your conversation you had with your agent?
Yeah, I'm focused on the season. I'm not worried about the other stuff. I'll let that stuff take care of itself, but I'm going to focus on the team.
What do you think Bears improved the most in camp?
Come back after this one.
The hard thing for Bears, just talking to him yesterday about everything, and he just does not like wearing the green jersey and the being separated, that you can't touch him, stuff like that. So it's okay. But I think he understands what we need from him. I think him and Trayson have done a great job running the offense and had sustained some drives. And we've given him a lot of different situational type of looks. And I think he's surprised me, the fact that he just seems like he knows all about his football IQ. It's already been there, but I think Tyler and A-Rod have done a great job at in enhancing his knowledge and getting him to respond quickly. And so that's I think all the quarterbacks have done that. I mean, in the room. So I think it's a huge compliment to them and how they're raised, but also a compliment to the way the coaches are teaching them.
So that first question about the resources, Kalani deflects. He's like, "Look, I'm here to focus on the season. I ain't gonna worry about any of that." And he had said that as much, I think, at Picture Day. He's like, "Look, I'll let my agent handle anything as it pertains to the resource conversation with BYU." So he's putting that to bed. It's no longer an issue. He's not going to be focused on it. You got to focus on the task at hand. Because quite honestly, if you're not winning and doing what you're supposed to do this season, it's like sales. Vic, you were a salesman for a long time. It's all about what you've done for me lately. Have you hit quota last period? Did you hit quota last quarter? Did you hit quota last year? You know, if you don't hit quota, 2 years in a row, it's like, we're going to have to talk about taking your territory we're going to have to give it to somebody else. That's sales for you. It's all about what you've done for me lately. And that's what football is too. What have you done for me lately? And so if you don't come out, you don't ball out, you don't win, you don't get to 10 wins this season, then you could have some detractors saying, you don't need no stinking resource. You just need to win some football games. You have a great team. You retained them all. You got a solid payroll. You got good coaches. This is your squad. This is your team. And you couldn't win? You couldn't win 10 games, Kalani? So it's an imperative to win this season.
He's striking the hot.
Especially if you've been talking about resources during the offseason. Now, I do think there is validity. I do think there is virtue in talking about resources prior to one of the biggest seasons in BYU football history. And because what's going to happen if you win, a lot of teams are going to come calling for that second tier and first tier player of BYU. Tampering is alive and well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't get it twisted. They're going to be like, X, Y, and Z player. I see you're just playing special teams, not really in the rotation. How do you feel about that? And these are third parties that are typically talking, agents that are typically talking, via text, but mostly on the phone. Is he happy? Is he happy? Does he want to take a gander? We need some help at this particular position. We got a healthy stipend for him, some good payroll opportunities for him to come on over here. He's just not being used right in that system. He fits into a better system. Anyway, that's what's going to happen. And so if you're not getting out in front of it to retain the players on the roster that could be intermittent in their playing time, could get into choppy waters come transfer portal season, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, something to look at, no doubt about it. So that was the first thing. And, the second element in this, now I'm trying to remember what the second element was because I went on a diatribe. What was the second one? What was the second question? Oh, Bear Bachmeier and his productivity and his progression. I've been impressed with Bear's off-platform throws and the velocity at which he's throwing the ball. I think his deep ball is going to be much better this year. I would say by like 15%. I see more velocity coming off the football. I think his anticipation is much better. And he's always been an accurate intermediate thrower. We'll see how the deep ball is from an accuracy standpoint, but I've been very, very impressed with Bear. The other thing that you'll notice, too, on some of the highlights in the B-roll is, and some people are a little bit scared about, I do think that Bear's probably thrown more picks in this fall camp than he did even in last fall camp. But that's what you get when you give the leash to the Bear Tar. He's got a long leash. And you do need, once it's your job, you do need to press the envelope a little bit and test your skill set. Test your might, as they say in Mortal Kombat. Right? Test your might. See how good you are. Can you make that throw? Can you make that throw? Do you want to make that throw in the game? Maybe not, but you can try it in practice. That's what we're talking about. Practice, Allen Iverson. Talking about practice. So I do think he's probably thrown more picks, but he's also had some phenomenal footballs that he's thrown in fall camp.
And I think he's learning his wide receivers too. Who's going to go up and make the play?
Yeah, I think it's probably accurate. Yeah, I mean, this is a big, strong, one of the tallest wide receiver rooms, tight ends rooms in college football. I've talked about this before, but 2015 was kind of akin to this year. They had some dudes. They had Nick Kurtz, 6'6", 215, Mitch Matthews, 6'6", 215, Taron Houck, 6'5", 225. And then you didn't have as many great tight ends maybe in that group. You have a converted Remington Peck at 6'4", 270. You had a freshman in Morona Lalupututau that was 6'5", maybe 240, but I think he was lighter than that. I think he was actually playing wide receiver at that time. You had the Bash brothers, Tanner Baldery and Steven Richards at 6'3", 250 and 6'3", 248, more like fullbacks. They're listed as tight ends. But the wide receivers were long, levered, and really good that season. And it was very much akin to what we have this year. And if you remember 2015, Tanner Mangum was able to sling the pill a little bit and push the ball downfield a little bit, even with the scattier slot receivers as well. Some great balls. Let's get back into the sound here on your Utah ESPN Radio Network. Kalani Sitake addressing the media. This segment brought to you by Dental Pros of Utah. DentalProsOfUtah.com. Check out the biomimetic techniques, the Google reviews today at DentalProsOfUtah.com. Kalani Sitake, media availability earlier this week.
Something happens to Bear, right? As you mentioned, he likes to get into the contact things. What about Trayson game? His game makes you confident he can win you games if called upon.
Well, Trayson had many
this.
opportunities to go places and start at other universities. He chose to be here because of the BYU environment, because of this lifestyle, this culture here, and that's in the locker room. That's also on campus. He enjoys being a BYU student, and so and I think he understands his role. He understood that going into the season, and I think he understands more fully what he needs to do as a leader. And so he's one of the most unselfish guys I know, and so he's definitely a leader for our team, and we have a lot of confidence in him. And what he did in camp just confirms what we already know, that he can take us to wins if we need him to. And but I like the mentoring that he's giving to Bear too. And I mean the dynamic in that room is pretty awesome.
We're going to be starting.
So Trayson Bourget, the Daily Bourget, he's been phenomenal. And I think you heard it in his voice, you heard it in his tone. He's got confidence in Trayson. And I do too right now, that Trayson can win you football games if you have to resort to it. There's a couple things. Bear Bachmeier doesn't like to wear that green jersey. Why? Because he likes the contact. He likes playing football, ladies and gentlemen. He likes the contact. He loves the contact. He likes to run the football for touchdowns. He likes to lower the shoulder. Here comes the boom, as they say. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. That's what he loves. And that's how he's wired. But so with that being said, you don't want him to get dinged up, but it may be an inevitability. Yeah, it's inevitable. But Trayson can win you football games, and that eases my mind. I had some anxiety heading into the season about QB2 and whether or not he could win you games. Trayson, I think, can win you football games this year. It's a glorious thing. It is a glorious thing. All right, let's get back to it. Kalani Sitake, head coach, BYU.
Receivers on that first play.
Going to break after this.
Oh, you'll find out on when we do our depth chart. But we're going to use anywhere from 6 to 8 receivers and a bunch of different tight end groups. So, even our running backs can catch the ball. So, I mean, he'll have plenty of guys to catch the ball. We need them to block. That's what we need them to do. Receivers need to block first.
How many more cuts do we have?
You talked about depth, and it's something you've talked about for the last couple of years is the depth and wanting to make sure that gets better. And obviously you're seeing that. If you go back to when BYU jumped into the Big 12 to now, is the depth, is that one of the things that you can point to as one of the things that's really stood out to you in terms of improvement from year one to where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've been through this before when you were going from a G5 conference into a power conference. So this move from independence into the Big 12, we've been through that. And so I had a lot of coaches on staff that have been through that. And the goal was to get to where we're at right now. So don't have a lot of excuses. We have great depth. We have a lot of talent, and we have to do our jobs as coaches to get it done. So, and then the talent happens in a lot of different ways. And I think the major way that we're able to get the talent is to develop them. And so, and then find ways to give them the knowledge and the feeling that this is a family to them. And that's why Trayson Bourget decided to stay here and play here instead of go somewhere and start. He saw the value of being here and that role that he is as a backup quarterback. And so there's a lot of guys like him on this team, and I'm just honored to be their coach. So that's different than anywhere else. And if we need to, we're going to need guys only 11 guys can be on the field, but if we need more than that, we definitely have it. And but we also need the camaraderie and the connection, the brotherhood that's in the locker room for our guys to truly believe about something bigger than just themselves.
Speaking of guys that see the value in the program, maybe guys that last year redshirted, sat out, did you see any of those players that maybe going in their second year that took a jump in camp and feel like they could perform endorse of those guys?
Yeah, there's a bunch of those guys. I don't know if I can just start off naming them up, but it's a full roster now. So because of the new rules, everyone can play. And I think in the past we've had to okay, which 4 games are we going to use this guy with the goal of redshirting him? Now they can play, and so that helps out on special teams. And so we did a lot of drill work, making sure that everybody knows all the positions, because Coach Anna could really use anybody that's out there, and we plan to do that. And so the problem will be when you start getting to the roster limits, and in terms of travel, you only travel a certain amount to the games. So the away games are going to be the hard. The away conference games are going to be the hard ones to figure out, where you can't just have the whole roster to look at. But for what we did in camp, understanding that we utilized a bunch of different packages, a lot of different groups in there, and put different guys in different places, even on special teams, to get a look for it. And so right now I feel good about it. Now we got to transition to getting ready for the season, which is focus on Utah Tech and focus on who's going to be our starting punt team, who's going to be our backup punt team, and who are the guys that we can take from the bullpen to add in different.
A break after this. Mike's hot.
Yeah, so I do think there's still question marks at special teams. If I have one anxiety that is still haunting me in the middle of the night, and I wake up with my heart beating out of my chest, I'm like, wait, are we going to punt well? Are we going to punt return well? Are we going to kickoff return well? Are we going to punt cover well? Are we going to kick cover well? Are we going to place kick well? Are we going to long snap well? What are we doing? How are we doing it? That's what probably concerns me. Everything else, I feel pretty good with. I feel pretty good with it. Now, I'd say there's maybe only one other thing. I'm like, okay, still, I want to see how. I hope Utah Tech pushes the ball downfield. If there's one thing I want Utah Tech to do, I hope that they figure out some play action game, and they get a little bit of time to push the ball downfield to test our secondary. I want that. I need that. I remember last time when Barney Ball came, Portland State, they took a few shots. They took a few shots to kind of just. I want that back end to feel a little anxiety prior to the Noah Fafita U of A game and be tested in that way, because it'll change behavior. If they're taking too many risks, if they're not being assignment sound, if they're not technically sound, and if Utah Tech can complete some passes or at least push the ball downfield, and so someone gets a little separation, a little space, changes behavior a little bit. So that would be my other one. Just kind of anxiety. I want to see, and I need to see the back end tested. But Kalani earlier in the show, or earlier in the segment, did mention the back and forth between the defense and the offense. It started out defense winning many of the practices. The offense gave a nice uppercut, hyper uppercut with that Lavelle Edwards Stadium first scrimmage, and they got him good. They got him real good. A-Rod had something magical up his sleeve for the defense that had gotten the better of him maybe the first couple of weeks. So, but the defense has bounced back. And I think it's become a little bit more even heading into Utah Tech week. So those are our segments here. Those are our Cougar Bites, if you will. Reading between the lines, brought to you by Dental Pros of Utah, dentalprosofutah.com. If you've been told you need a filling, a crown, a root canal, all I'm asking you to do is go on over to Dental Pros of Utah and American Fork. They utilize biomimetic techniques. If you know what biomimetic techniques are, these are minimally invasive techniques that mimic the natural living tooth structure of your teeth, your enamel. Sometimes you will employ certain techniques that and certain materials that are they kind of create collateral damage to the adjacent teeth,
Inside
certain
next
crowns and certain types of fillings. You don't want that because it will create there's detrimental effect to the and collateral damage to those teeth. So biomimetics is where it's at. Be educated, get a second opinion, go to Dental Pros of Utah and American Fork today. Check out the Cougar reviews. Let's take a time out. We'll be back. Cougar Inside Report. You don't want to miss these nuggets on the flip. This is Cougar Sports 103.9, 98.3 ESPN The Fan. Welcome back. Cougar Sports 103.9, 98.3 ESPN The Fan. I'm Ben Criddle, broadcasting from our Vanderwelt studios, vanderwelt.com. As I always say, get on that free Q&A. No obligation to invest Q&A with our Tax Smart Wealth advisors. We're going to get into a little Cougar Insider Report. Bodie Schoonover, Big Bodie, the Bull, as I like to call him, came on very strong for the Cougar football team last season on the back half of the schedule. I remember that U of A game kind of was a breakout game for him, and I think he's going to start where he left off, being one of the lead sack getters for this BYU defensive front. So can't wait to get caught up with Bodie Schoonover, what his offseason has been like and what he's looking to accomplish in this segment. Get to know him here momentarily. It's going to be brought to you by Stansbury Golf Course. If you haven't played Stansbury Park Golf Course yet, why haven't you? Gosh darn it. Everyone's talking about it. Tooele County's historic golf course, Stansbury Park Golf Course. It's for good reason. It's a perfect combo of challenge, pace, obviously price as well. All you cost-conscious golfers out there. Water's almost on every hole, greens that roll true, and a layout that keeps you focused and fired up. And get this, you can actually play a full round without spending your whole day out there. No long waits, no overpriced green fees, just pure golf. Play 18 holes for only $45 on the weekdays and $50 on the weekends. It's right off I-80, super easy to get to, and a great reason to explore Tooele County. Check it out. That is Tooele County's Stansbury Park Golf Course. Book your 18, book your 9 today. Book your tee time at stansburypark.gov/golf course. That's stansburypark.gov/golf course. All right, Big Bodie Schoonover. Let's get to it. Bodie, how has camp gone so far for you?
It's been good. I missed spring ball, so it's been a little rusty, knocking off some rust, but it's been really good for me.
Thanks, hot.
Short and sweet, to the point, baby. All he wants to do is get after quarterbacks. That's all this man does. Look at his stats from last year. What do you know about Bodie Schoonover? The 6'3", 275-pounder had 20 solo tackles, 3 sacks last year, okay? Not too bad. 35 total tackles, 20 solo, 15 assisted, 3 pass defended as well. That's an underrated skill for Mr. Bodie Schoonover. Typically, you see like that 6'5", 6'6" DN that's getting his hands up. Bodie's got a nice vertical, and he's got great timing, great vision, and he times up those footballs coming out quick on those RPOs, those 3 steps, those quick step type of plays. He gets his hands up quick. And nice reaction time from Bodie Schoonover. Number 48. You need to get to know him, Cougar Nation. If you don't know, hopefully now you know. Where have you developed the most, though, this offseason, Bodie?
Through the last 3 weeks, I could say just getting back to the fundamentals, getting my steps down, my hands down, my pad level, just fundamentals. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed with some of the B-roll and also trying to watch him in practice, he's been very active with his hands. So when I call him the bull, like, he is strong. He is a beast. He is dense. He is thick and explosive. So when you look at him, you're like, he's going to be, you could view him as like a 3-tech, quite honestly, which means a 5-tech, 3-tech type of player, which you're taking on some double teams. He's robust enough to take on double teams. He's really, really good. But, if you run a 40 front, you put him at that strong side edge, put him as a 7-tech, he can get you. There's no doubt about it. But he's been really engaged with his handwork when he's in that 7-tech, when he's coming off the edge. So you're going to see a lot of powerful hand swipes, some nice club moves, and you combine that with a beautiful bull rush. You get up right under the chin, active hands, hat in hands like this, get up under the chin. When an offensive tackle is not prepared for it, it sets up everything else. And that's what Bodie does extremely well. He's got a high motor. His second effort just as good as his first effort because he continues to just roll through, high motor, and extremely, extremely physical. We got some breaking news right now. Breaking news brought to you by Stansbury Golf Course. Head on over to stansburypark.gov/golf course to book your 9 or 18 today. What do you got for me, Ronald, the 3-man Weaver?
Yeah, no, we were losing power, so I hadn't been checking my phone. I checked. This is about 40 minutes ago. NFL news, just thought we should because it's football season. The NFL has eliminated the Pro Bowl games, Ben, per league official, per Adam Scheffner. The focus will now shift to celebrating the honor of being a Pro Bowl selection. There you go.
Okay, so it's Pro Bowl selection, and you're not playing in a Pro Bowl game or not.
Yeah, they're getting rid of the games. Yep.
But I thought it would. You could do some like events, right? Could you do some like events like the farthest throw event for the quarterbacks, or you could do a 40-yard dash, couldn't you? Something like that.
But I think they're getting rid of that because of everything that it's turned into. So yeah. They're just going to celebrate.
Steve Young out there.
Too many liabilities.
To me, the flag football really ruined it, man, of what they're doing. But I'm with you. I think your ideas were great. I would have liked to see those, but
we saw them once upon a time. I know Vic grew up watching it.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch. It definitely was.
And they played hard. They didn't.
There was a competitive fire to it.
Yeah. That's back
no more Pro Bowl.
Paid as much,
and no more alternates. So once they select them, that's it. So there'll be no alternates. They get selected because of a game. So whoever gets picked in is whoever gets picked. So that's it.
The NFL has eliminated the Pro Bowl games per league officials. The focus now shifts to celebrating the honor of just being a Pro Bowl selection. All right, let's get back to it. Bodie Schoonover, Big Bodie Schoonover, one of, I believe, the rising stars of this BYU defense. Gary Anderson stopped by during this interview, walked by and gave a little words of advice, maybe a pep talk to Bodie Schoonover. And I said, hey, how impactful has he been on your development, and how does he coach?
Man, he's played a big part in my development. In the last 2 years, he's been my coach. Like, I've been in his position room, and it's been monumental for me. It's been a huge difference in my knowledge of the game and how I play. So it's been awesome. He's very straight up. I mean, no fluff, no nothing. Just get straight to the point and tell you what you need to know. So he's a great coach.
No fluff from Gary Anderson. Doesn't mess around. Coaches with a linear type of execution, A to B. This is what you need to know. Now go execute it. How has your role been being a 3 and/or /5 tech? Are you bouncing inside, outside? What are you doing as far as your role is concerned?
Yeah, we're doing the exact same thing, just going back and forth from the inside and the outside. So it's been good. Being versatile, it's fun to rush off the edge sometimes, but also stay stout in the bit and big and inside. So it's been fun.
Bodie's going to be a 3 tech at the next level, or a 5 tech. When he goes to the NFL, he's going to be a 3 tech or a 5 tech. So you really do want to showcase that ability. You want to showcase an ability to be a 7 tech guy too, but he's going to move inside eventually with his build, with his body. He's going to be a 3 or 5 technique at the next level, in my opinion. So might as well start integrating there. But at BYU, you can be a 7 tech as well. You can get involved there. And I think him and Vili have rotated a bit in that regard. Who is a guy that you've seen making strides in camp, Bodie?
Yeah, I would say David. David Tangalanu. He's been making big strides this fall camp, and he's been playing physical and fast. So it's been fun to watch.
Look at that, Tangilanu, David. If you don't know David, he's a defensive tackle, 6'5", 280 pounds, freshman at East Palo Alto, California, Menlo Atherton High School, and his major construction management. Parents are Julian Legger and Tavita Tangilanu. Dad played professional rugby, so he comes from good lineage there. He's got 2 siblings, plays the guitar and the ukulele, considers himself a mediocre golfer, served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Toronto, Canada, speaking Cantonese. I love that, man. That's crazy. As I mentioned, he played at Menlo Atherton High School, named Paul first team defensive line as a junior and senior, and was recruited by Air Force, Army, San Jose State, and UC Davis. So that's his offer sheet. Looking to make some hay this season as a freshman. Can't wait to see it. Given some love from Bodie Schoonover. What can the fans expect from this year's defensive line, Bodie?
We're going to be physical. Going to get a lot of sacks, a lot of knockback, stop the run. Just everything that they want from defensive line. We're going to do that. So
do it all, everything. Swaggy, confident, moving forward. So you took a big jump last year, Bodie. How excited are you to get back out there and take the next step in your career development?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, it's my last year here at BYU as a Cougar. I'm with all my brothers on the team. We play together. I mean, we've been here all 5 years, so I'm just super excited to get out there and play with them. Just
be a part of the band of brothers. And this is the final. This is the final countdown. Yes, senior year, man. It's a glorious one, man. It goes by so dang fast. Like, I remember meeting Bodie in high school. He was at American Fork High School. He was a caveman and tremendously talented. Still a raw football player, playing some outside linebacker, D end, and playing tight end as well. He really came onto the scene, started receiving offers. BYU was a big offer for him. UCLA was hot on his trail. And Bodie stayed true to the family and stayed true to BYU despite a lot of suitors, right? Some very dapper Dan type of suitors, okay, that were willing to give him probably more money at the time because NIL was not that prominent at BYU at that moment. Chose Brigham, and then he rode the pine for a while, sat behind some good football players, didn't get integrated, and finally he bided his time, was patient, and I pray, and I think he will have a tremendous season because he deserves it. He's put in the work, and he's going to be fantastic this year. Who are some of the guys on the offense that help refine your skill set? Who's fun to go up against on that offensive line?
Yeah, I'll say Sonny.
Right, coming up.
He's strong. He's stout.
Sonny
On
Michel.
my inside, it's hard to hold him, but yeah, he's a good guy to go against. I'll say Pocky as well, a new guy coming in, and of course AG as well. So yeah, those some guys.
Yeah, because remember, he's going against the inside and outside guys. So he's going against Pocky at the left tackle spot, it sounds like. Andrew Gentry at the right tackle spot when his alignment is out on that 7 tech or even the 5 technique. And then when he moves inside to the 3 tech, he's going against Sonny Michel. And Sonny Micheli's stout, man. He's stout, he's thick, he's dense, and he's technically sound. Sonny's a really good football player. Sonny's going to be a boon for BYU this year. So those are the guys he's been going up against. And so a couple other things. Who were some of the offensive lines in the Big 12 that gave you some challenges last year and you're looking forward to maybe going up against again this year?
I mean, Spencer Farnell's not here anymore, but he was definitely one of them last year. But let me think. Texas Tech, that was a fun one. I mean, always we never beat them, but it was always fun to go against those guys. Yeah, that's like off the top of my head, but yeah.
I mean, those are the teams that like really set you up. Like the failures, right, and the missed reps, or the missed execution within those reps versus the best, set you up for success in the following season. So I know he remembers those.
What's up, Ben?
And is elevating his skill set and his work ethic to meet that standard because he's gonna face off against some good offensive lines again this year. As far as Bear's concerned, he's made some strides. You've watched his film. What stands out to you about him?
Man, I think he looks confident back there. I mean, like last year he was good, but this year he is, like you said, he's made strides. He's improved a lot, and it's been really cool to watch him just feel so comfortable and command the offense the way he does.
There you go. That's Big Bodie Schoonover. Watch out for number 48. He's going to have a tremendous season for the Cougars. We're live from our Vanderwell studios, vanderwell.com. Get on that free Q&A. No obligation to invest Q&A with our Tax Smart Wealth advisors today. They're going to aid you, support you in your quest for financial stability and sustainability. Let Blaine Anderson educate you on Tax Smart Wealth advisement and strategy, Tax Smart Wealth tax strategies as well. Check it out today at vanderwell.com. Keeping up with the Cougars coming in next. Belo, Brian Logan, the pass breakup king, will be joining us. Are Evan and Trey Alexander the best corner duo in the Big 12? Are they the best corner duo that BYU has had over the last 10 years? And then NFL players attempting to maybe return to college football. I'll ask him that question. Does he like it? I know he'd like to come back and play ball at BYU again. I know he would have come back in 2000, and I think his final year is 2010, so he would have come back in 2011, as the rest of us would too, especially in this NIL era. All that and more coming up next. Brian Logan. This is Cougar Sports 103.9, 98.3, ESPN The Fan. Welcome back, Cougar Sports 103.9, 98.3, ESPN The Fan. I'm Ben Criddle, broadcasting from our Vanderwell studios, vanderwell.com. Get on that free Q&A. No obligation to invest Q&A today. It is time for a little Keeping Up with the Cougars, one of my favorite segments. Going to welcome in a former BYU great to talk some BYU football. It's going to be brought to you by Odeon Menswear, OdeonMenswear.com. If you are a businessman, if you are a church-going man, if you are a missionary man, if you're just looking to look good in a great suit and dress wear, then head on over to Odeon Menswear. Utilize the Criddle15 coupon code at Odeon Menswear. I love it because it's a sports performance gear, right? This is sports performance attire. This is sports performance wear. Look good, feel good, do good, and just feel like athletic and like you get a reduction in impingement and reduction in range of motion with some of the other materials out there. Not with the Elevate suit, not with the Tempo shirt. They do a phenomenal job, and we've been able to convert a lot of different people over to Odeon Menswear. Just try it out. They have multitude of locations along the Wasatch Front. Criddle15 coupon code gets you a great deal online or in store. All right, let's talk defensive backs with Brian Logan, former BYU great, the pass breakup king. What's up, B-Lo?
I'm kind of mad, man. Where's my intro song at?
We could do
intro song.
One second, I'll get it.
Is it Yay? What's B-Lo's intro song? I don't even know what it is.
It was played on the morning show, and they've been playing it. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
This happened to me with Bryce. I didn't get my intro song and give it the outro, but where's my intro at?
It's my bad. That's my bad. 5'10", 185-pound defensive back. Here it is.
Yo. Hey.
Who made this song, by the way?
My cousin made this.
Are you serious? I love it, man. Brian Logan, the pass breakup king. B-Lo, how you feeling about this BYU football team, man? Camp Kalani's done. They got Utah Tech coming on up. How you feeling about them Cougs?
Yeah, man, I'm excited, dude. I mean, I think any time that football season comes around, you know, everybody's excited regardless of what team they're rooting for, just because there's a pretty big gap if you're not a baseball fan, where you're not doing anything with your life. And so I'm excited just for football in general, but dude, I've been saying this the last couple of years, man. We've arrived, dude. We've arrived. We're here. We are here. And it's I always say like this motto, like this is the best time to be. What a time to be alive in the Kalani Sitake era, in the Big 12 era, and witness us having success, being in the P4 conference one, but then also having success, man. So I'm excited, and I'm waiting to see, you know, what they can do, and I think there's a lot of confidence within the team, and obviously with us as analysts, and then most importantly, you know, as fans.
We got some breaking news brought to you by our good friends over at Odeon Menswear, OdeonMenswear.com. Get on the free Q&A. I'm crossing up breeze right now. OdeonMenswear.com. Look your best, feel your best, do your best. Take the guesswork out of looking good. Premium fit, personal service, and clothing made to perform. Ronald, what do you got for us? Breaking news.
Yeah, Ben, we discussed it in the first hour, but it's official. Pete Thamel 3 minutes ago, the Big 12 athletic directors have agreed to ban professionals from returning to play in the Big 12 schools in all sports per ESPN sources. This is pending FAR approval tonight. The ADs were unanimous in their support. This follows in line with similar concepts as the Big Ten, SEC, and the ACC is waiting to be formalized. There you go.
Yeah, I asked my poll of the day, Jackson Kohler. He's committed to Brigham. Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling swaggy that he's going to get eligible? BYU fans chime in on that. I think most of them are feeling very confident that he will be eligible. So, but let's get back to football with B-Lo. You're feeling confident. You're feeling swaggy about this BYU Cougar football team. And I wondered, why is it that you feel so confident? What are like the main key tenets and reasons why you're confident regarding this BYU football team?
Yeah, I don't know the exact stat and the number on it, but I do know that BYU was pretty up there when it comes to returning players and returning players in regards to production, because there's a lot of guys return to their team, right? But if I'm third on the roster and I return, how much am I really making an impact? But if I'm somebody like Evan Johnson or Bear Bachmeier, and I've produced and I've made an impact, within my play, and I'm coming back the next year, that's pretty key. That's key, and especially in an era where guys bounce around. There's a whole new roster every single year. The fact that BYU is up there when it comes to returning production and starters coming back, that's all the confidence that I need.
All the confidence, all the swagger that you need. Are you confident because BYU's cornerback duo is one of the best in the modern era, and it may be the best in the modern era? I was going back to like 2005, looking at the cornerback duos, and you had yourself a nice duo. I think it was you and Brandon Bradley, right, in 2009, 2010, correct?
Yeah. Grandpa B.
Grandpa B. I was trying.
Uncle B. Not to get people confused. Uncle B is
Blaine.
My analyst got a ring.
Yeah. And Grandpa is Beezy.
I know him by Grandpa B.
Oh, God.
He moves like a grandpa. So, hey, it's funny. He had posted something with his daughter. On Instagram the other day, and I made a comment. I was like, man, if there was like a little dance move.
I did see that. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
I was like, man, if you move like that when we was playing, we would have won the Mountain West.
Oh, man,
dude, you want to wait 20 years now.
Hey, Brandon always, because of that old knee injury, he kind of has a lean with it, rock with it type of gait that he's always, you know what I mean? He's kind of leaning with it when he's walking with it.
Ben, that same knee injury is the reason why we lost in 2010 to Utah when they said his knee wasn't down.
Oh, come on now. His knee was down, pal. His knee was down. I don't know if it was the same knee, though. I have to go back and look at that. I don't know if it was the same knee.
You got to admit, that was a good joke.
That was a good joke. It was a good joke. Yeah, you and Brandon Bradley, and then Preston Hadley, Corby Eason, Preston Hadley, Jordan Johnson. That was a good duo. Rob Daniel, Mike Davis, Rob Daniel, Jordan Johnson, Mike Davis, Micah Hanneman, Diane Gonwoluku, and Troy Warner. That was a pretty good duo. Troy Warner, Chris Wilcox. You had in 2022, Caleb Hayes and Gabe Judy Lally, both really good. Jacob Robinson, Eddie Heckard, Jacob Robinson, Mark Collins, and then Evan Johnson and Trey Alexander. Where do you think this Evan Johnson, Trey Alexander maybe ranks out amongst the best cornerback duos over the last 2 decades?
So Jacob and Eddie, hands down.
You think it's Jacob and Eddie 2023?
It doesn't even compare, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't compare. You can't. What side? If you're a quarterback, what side are you going to, Ben?
I mean, I want to stay. I mean, Jake.
Exactly.
Both of them are really nice.
You tuck it and you run it.
Yeah, both of them very nice, very good football players.
And this is the key, right? With what separates like good from great is both of those guys made plays. They were impact players, and what that means from a defensive perspective, it's turnovers, right? That's how you make plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like defensive linemen, there's obviously when linebackers are on blitzes and it's third down, third and long, or whatever the case is, and you make a good play to get off the field, like that's cool, right? But you're putting your offense back on the field. The punter is kicking the ball 40, 50 yards, whatever the case is. But when you can make a play as far as turning the ball over and you're giving your offense a shorter field, you're giving your kicker a shorter field, to make field goals and score points. Like that's the biggest thing that stands out to me when as you were naming those players, both of those guys made plays, actual plays that impacted the game. Like with me, I made a play here. Like I'll say this, I did my job. right? Like occasionally I would get beat for a touchdown. Yeah. Occasionally I would have like some pass breakups. But as far as being like an impact player where I like change the output of the game, like a Kyle Van Noy, for example, like those guys did that.
They did. They made plays, and like I said, there's been some good dynamic duos. I mean, the biggest issue hasn't been like the starting two; it's been the third, the fourth, the fifth cornerback. You haven't always had that. So, my question to you: how confident are you that this defensive backfield will ball out, and how much depth do you think you're going to need this year?
Yeah, I've been getting this question, all camp. And I think I can confidently say that I don't know. And I only say that because there's a new corner coach. There's a new safeties coach. I believe in K-Pop. He's been in this system for a minute now. I think you'll probably see a slight dip initially just because it's hard to get actual game reps. I don't think it's any different. This is my personal opinion. I don't think it's any different for a new coach, a new coordinator to understand or see what game reps are versus practice reps. And so obviously everything that he's done since he's got the job, spring ball and fall camp, he's getting that experience. But we all know, just like us as players, spring ball is different than fall camp. Fall camp is different than the game, right? Like the speed of the game and situations that you can't account for, like that you can't really plan, for random stuff to happen, and you really don't know what you have until you actually get there when it counts. And so I'm good with K-Pop. Like I said, maybe a little dip from a stats perspective, but nothing really too alarming. But Ben, I don't know these guys. I don't. And I said that in the most respectful way. I went out a couple weeks ago to practice, and I saw both of them. Obviously, you know us, right? Receivers and DBs, we don't care about anything else. I'm not looking at the O-line, at the D-line, at the linebackers. I'm looking straight up at the DBs, and I'm looking at the receivers. And so looking at them, I mean, they have a lot of passion. I think they fit very well when it comes to the standards of BYU football and, some of the off the field principles that we stand for. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see, here soon. I do believe in K-Pop. I believe in Kalani to make the right decision in regards to hiring the right people. And for those people to put, those players in the best positions to make plays. I will say that everybody that's new on that staff in regards to K-Pop, not new, but as a position, he has a new position, and you have, two new coaches in the secondary. They've been gifted. Like the talent that they have is crazy. Like I would never think that. And it's crazy. I sound like a broken record, and I even sound like a broken record because I keep saying I'm a broken record. I would never thought in a million years that we would have the talent that we have in the secondary. When I went out there a couple of weeks ago, and I was with my son, so it was a little bit hard to kind of like stay focused and really analyze. But I was looking at the DBs and I was like, why is everybody huge? And now, mind you, I'm not even saying that as somebody that's 5'6", man. I'm 5'6". Everybody's huge to me, but I'm saying they're abnormally huge. I'm like, wait a minute. How this dude is 6'4", this dude is 6'3". Everybody got dreads. Everybody dark skinned. Everybody brown. Everybody fat. They're long, tall. I'm like, what's going on here? What happened? Where's the BYU that I know?
There's a lot of depth. There's a tremendous amount of talent on this roster, and I think that's why one of the reasons that everybody's very optimistic about what they can accomplish this season in 2026, 2027. So for you, what is the ceiling? What is the floor? And what is quota? I think we've discussed this possibly before, but where do you stand in that debate?
I'm still there. As far as it's Big 12 title. You got to So I would say minimum you got to get to the Big 12 conference game, and then I would say maximum would be you win that game. And the reason why I said maximum, like I could say make it to the college, football playoffs, but if you win the Big 12, you should be able. If you're in a position to make it to that game, and then if you win that game, I would say that you're probably in the playoffs. So that's the thing with me is minimum make it there, maximum win it, and then we'll go from there. I think with BYU and what's interesting with us as a program and people that are in the know that we don't have or we haven't been a school that has traditionally had the type of talent that we have. And I think that's what's making everybody so confident, because we've been successful without that talent. Now that we have that talent, we're like, watch out. We about to do some damage. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's where that confidence, level, within the community and the fan base is. But I would say specifically for the DBs, I would say we really got our money. We made our money. We got our wins from turnovers. And I was listening to K-Pop the other day on an interview, and he was asked about sacks and the lack of last year, or the last couple of years, and he hit it right in the head, man. I don't want sacks. I don't care about sacks, dude. I want turnovers. Would you rather have a sack on third? Let's say it's 37. Would you rather? And let's say the offense is on their 40. Would you rather have a sack there and they punt it, or would you rather have an interception there and now I've shortened the field for my offense?
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, I'm with K-Pop. I've said it many times over the last 20 years. Sacks are overrated. I'm glad he's talking about it. But I mean, not to say I don't like sacks. I do like sacks. I like sacks on like first down, second down, getting them into like obvious passing situations. That's what I like. If I have a sack, I love those front end sacks because they turn into turnovers on third down. Does that make sense, B-Lo? Like, I want those one-dimensional plays where I know, like 90% of the time, like it's either a draw or it's a pass, right? Draw, screen, pass is what they're doing, and so put them into those situations, and you can really get after it.
Well, no, you're absolutely right. Let's give the fans and the listeners perspective from a DB and a corner perspective, right? So if you like you said, getting a sack on first down or maybe second down, now the offense is behind the chains. So we're looking at 2nd and 13, 2nd and 15. So we know by the time he gets to third down, the play call for you and I, zero pressure. Yeah. No pressure at all. Mm-hmm. I don't care if the receiver that I'm guarding catches a 10-yard hitch or an in route or whatever the case is, because I know I got 5 yards of cushion. It's 3rd and 15. Right, so we're more loose, we're more relaxed, and I think that goes with the linebackers. Obviously, it goes to the defensive linemen, because they're like, "Yo, I know this is not a run play. I could pin my ear back and just go ham, go full speed, and then I don't really necessarily have to worry about run fits per se. I just need to put as much pressure on the quarterback as possible because I know what to expect." And that's the key is like a defense that can put an offense into a situation where they're predictable. Like, that's how you really win football games and you really win at chess. Like this game, for people that don't understand, this is not Uno. This ain't Simon Says. It's not checkers. This is chess at the highest level, and being able to do that is how you accomplish that.
Love it, B-Lo. Former BYU great, talking some BYU football in this segment. Brian, final thing before we let you go. What are your expectations for Bear Bachmeier this season, and why?
First, I don't like when you call me by my government name, Brian. It's a little weird to me.
Brian. When I want a serious answer, with no fluff. I'm asking you I'm addressing you as your governmental name.
Obi, my mom she named me that. She don't even call me that. That's just weird, man. But that's the first thing that stood out to me. No, in all seriousness, I think Bear steps up in the passing game. I think he'll have less rushing yards. I think he's going to be in a situation where if he needs to run, he'll run. And from a small comparison would be Lamar Jackson, where he's at right now, and where he took that leap. As the MVP of the NFL, where he realized, I'm athletic. I'm probably the most athletic person on the field, but I also am a quarterback, and for being a quarterback, it's to distribute the ball. It's not to run. If you want to run, you should be a running back, and I think that, and with another year under his belt, understanding the system and really truly understanding what A-Rod wants him to do. And this is a smart kid, right? Like, I mean, he was at Stanford, right? So, like, he understands X's and O's probably at an accelerated, rate than an average, fresh or sophomore. And so I think he'll be able to decipher things a lot cleaner, get the ball out a lot faster. And so you'll see more production in the air, because at default, we all know this: an athletic quarterback that's dual threat, that knows he can run. Usually, how you can tell if he doesn't know football, at the snap of the ball, he makes one read, he's looking one way, and then if it's covered, he's gone. Mm-hmm. We didn't even see that last year with Bear. We saw Bear go through his progressions, and you could see it, pick up a lot more towards the end of the season. And so I feel like that's going to, progress and pick up. So I would say, expectations-wise, I would say he would have less rushing yards, mm-hmm. and he would have a lot more passing yards.
I like it. I love it. B-Lo, always appreciate our time. Thanks for hopping on for some Cougar sports commentary, talking BYU football in 2026. Expectations, I don't think have ever been this high. Maybe minus 1985. Save it, 1985, coming off an 84 national championship. Thanks so much, B-Lo. We'll catch up with you again soon.
I agree with you, Ben. I love you. I appreciate you, man. We got to talk about getting our kids together. My son, he's in the 90th percentile. So you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
We got to make that happen. But I agree with you, man. Love you, and go Cougs.
Love you more, B-Lo. Appreciate you, bro. That segment was brought to you by Odeon Menswear. OdeonMenswear.com. Look your best, feel your best, do your best in life, in the missionary field, in business, for the nuptials, at church, whatever it is. Look your best and be your best at Odeon Menswear. Utilize the Criddle15 coupon code for the best menswear in the business. Let them know I sent you, and they will take care of you. They are big BYU fans. Braden Day, you hear him on the show all the time. He's the CEO. He's hooking up student athletes all day, every day, and you should support him as well. He supports Cougar Nation. He supports the Cougar football team. Support him. Let him earn your business today. Let's take a time out. Want to remind you guys that the Utah State Fair is coming, though. ESPN The Fan wants to send you and your family out to the Utah State Fair. Tune in to Bryson Bianucci every morning, 8:45 a.m. for your chance to score a family 4-pack of tickets to the Utah State Fair. More details at ESPNTheFan.com. A little player profile. Vic Cram caught up with Josiah Phillips, JoJo Phillips, and we're going to get to know JoJo on the flip side. How playing basketball maybe developed him as a wide receiver, what things he was working on in the offseason to become wide receiver one. That up next, Cougar Nation. JoJo Phillips. This is Cougar Sports 103.9, 98.3, ESPN The Fan. Coupon code 15% off. Last call on Primo products. You got to check it out. That last call page features exclusive discounts on items that are nearly sold out and limited in sizes. Check out Primo Golf Apparel, primogolfapparel.com. Shout out to Matty Gay, too. He's sending a nice little package, a little gift package to me with all the Primo Golf gear that my mind, body, and soul need. I love Primo Golf. I think you will as well. We say support local, look your best, feel your best, and get out there and golf your best. Let's take a time out, Cougar Nation. Please don't go anywhere. Still plenty to get to on a Wednesday, August 26th edition of Cougar Sports, 103.9, 98.3, ESPN The Fan.
All right, the last. Mike is hot, Ben.
Cougar Nation, If you've been in an accident, if you've been injured, and it wasn't your fault, call the Advocates. 801-355-5550. That's 801-355-5550. You can go to UtahAdvocates.com. Why? Because you deserve an advocate.
Okay, keeping these in your ear because then we're going to do it real quick.
45 on 103.9 and 98.3.
90 seconds left.
Bryce Larson and Jordan Bianucci bring you the most viral clips, biggest headlines, and all the news you need to kick off your day. Your morning just got better. Tune in for the NFL Blitz with Bryce and Bianucci on 103.9 and 98.3 ESPN. The Fan.
Do you have
Mike's hot.
Cougar Nation, I'd advise you to head on down to Bryce Canyon National Park this fall. Why? Because the beauty of the earth awaits. Most people that visit the great and spacious and marvelous Bryce Canyon National Park are not from the state of Utah. Let's change that. Let's behold the beauty of the earth down there. Hike, bike, razor, and horseback ride through the hoodoos. Make sure you're staying at Ruby's Inn. It's the closest lodging to Bryce Canyon National Park. Make memories with friends and family members. Boot, scoot, and boogie the night away at Ebenezer's Barn and Grill. Great food and great music. Ruby's Inn is the place to be during the fall months. I'm telling you. And you can go to ruby'sinn.com/960 to get 20% off your stay. That's ruby'sinn.com/960 to get 20% off your stay today.
so good?
It's the people. It's the people. It's the people.
Okay, we're done.
Okay, sweet. Awesome.
Okay, I'm going to give you a call here in about 5 minutes. Peace out.
All righty, guys. I think we're live again on the stream. The radio's still going, 103.9, 98.3 ESPN The Fan. We're going to be playing some interviews from earlier today that we pre-recorded. Ronald the Three-Man Weaver was able to catch up with Trey Alexander, then Darnell Dixon, the Daily Heraldian on a Cougar beat. So if you're tuning in on the radio, keep it dialed in there. We got great content, but I wanted to sign off on the stream. It's been a great show. We'll continue to do the streams and interact with you on all of our social media platforms, giving you live content and curated Cougar sports content that your mind, body, and soul needs throughout the fall season. One of the most anticipated, highly anticipated, if not the most anticipated season in BYU football history. And we want to give you the best coverage that you can find in Cougar Nation. So we appreciate all you Cougar fans in Cougar Country tuning in today. As I mentioned, head on over to CougarSportsMedia.com. That's CougarSportsMedia.com. Subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to all of our platforms. Subscribe to the newsletter. Vic's been putting out the newsletter for a while now, and we'd love to onboard you onto our newsletter. Curated Cougar sports news every single day right to your inbox. That's CougarSportsMedia.com. And then scroll down and subscribe to the newsletter. So we have our Vanderwell Studios up and running now with all of our cameras, and we're going to be taking the ultimate tailgater wherever we roam. We're going to have a Saturday event. The ultimate tailgater can't enter the Provo Town Center, but we'll have our booth up there at Self-Serve Mattress at the Provo Town Center. Trayson Bourget, the Daily Bourget showing up. Siali Osera and more BYU football players will be there. We're getting confirmation on that. So come on by, get autographs. It's like the finale before the true kickoff of the season with Utah Tech this Saturday, 3 to 7 p.m. at the Provo Town Center. That's 3 to 7 p.m. at the Provo Town Center. But yeah, Cougar Nation, we appreciate you. We love you guys, and we want to continue to give you the best content that we can create here. So make sure you're following us, subscribing to us, and if you have questions, commentary, you want things that you want addressed, then we're more than happy to do that here on our live streams and even on our produced content. So check it all out, Cougar Sports Media. That's Coug Sports Media on all of our social media platforms. Have a good night, Cougar Nation. We'll be back tomorrow.